God, I think a spider just bit me. Does this mean I'm gonna get superpowers like Spider-Man?
Guys, I don't think I'm gonna get to meet the Avengers.
Namaste, my boys. Have you ever heard of the theory of reincarnation? It is the Buddhist belief that once a person dies, their soul is reincarnated into another body. Basically meaning that every single human is immortal and the soul travels on. In a past life, you could have been a nameless foot soldier, just as easily as you could have been one of history's most notable figures. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today, because I found someone who actually genuinely believes they are one of those historical figures. And not exactly one of the kind ones.
It's time to address the nose ring drama. So if you haven't seen my latest video where I made this new nose ring right here, people are essentially calling me every name under the sun because I had the Reichsadler on my jacket. So I need to tell you guys a little something about me. And you can call me crazy, you can call me whatever you'd like, any name under the sun. But I'm very in tune with my past and my past lives and lifetimes that I've lived before this one. My last life just so happened to be a very infamous one. Me offing myself was one of the first memories I had from that lifetime. It came to me when I was 5 in my nightmares. You can see right where I shot myself too. That and just so many other things throughout my life have connected me to my past. And you can go say, oh, go get on your meds again, you nutter. I've been on so many meds and none of them have changed what I saw when I was 5.
In case it isn't plainly obvious, Homie thinks he's
Adolf Hitler! Command of the Third Reich!
Little known fact about him, he's also dope on the mic. And in this current life, he's known as Felix Cipher. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that actually is legitimately his real name. Am I doxing him? Maybe. Do I feel guilty about it? Yes and no. For reasons I'll get into later. Felix has become infamous on TikTok as of recent. As you can imagine, as it's a bit controversial to say that you're the reincarnation of one of the most controversial men to ever live. A man whose name is commonly used as a synonym for evil by people who are terminally online. I don't know why it said controversial, like he's some sort of polarizing figure. Like anybody's gonna go, oh, you know that Hitler guy, he's terrible person, did terrible things. But, well, I guess technically to Felix he is. It may not shock you to find out that Felix is slightly mentally ill, because the smart fellow turned into a fart smeller seems a little bit confused in their identity. And also we just straight up have confirmation of their ex-boyfriend.
I'm gonna tell you guys what I started dating Felix during my sophomore year of high school. We had met when I was a freshman and he was a senior, and I did not know that he was Kanye West's best friend. But yeah, he was really toxic, and I dated him for 2 years because he emotionally manipulated me into doing so. So yeah, I don't associate with him. He is like severely mentally ill, so...
And yes, this person is a legitimately trustworthy source because they do have images together. As far as the emotional manipulation, I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know for 110% is Nazis couldn't be gay. Of course they were Germans, so they definitely were. It's just they had to keep that behind closed doors. As far as the claim that he's severely mentally ill, I would say that's fairly obvious. However, I want to say this quite clearly, mental illness doesn't excuse anyone's actions. This is in the 1800s, bud. I'm sorry that you got a bad roll of the dice and we're born absolutely cuckoo for cuckoo puffs, but we have something called therapy and medication nowadays that can treat every mental illness. Not in its entirety, I mean, Christ, we're not miracle workers, but all of these little diseases that all of you people online tend to claim, A, can be fixed, B, can be treated, and C, shouldn't be an inconvenience for everybody else in your life. Now that doesn't mean every mental illness is a one-to-one comparison, because people who are diagnosed, being the key word, with schizophrenia, are on a different level of people who self-diagnose having OCD. Both very severe diseases, trust me, they're life-altering. You know, one of them you can't exactly believe what's real, and the other one you just kind of want to organize your house a lot. Anyways, even if Felix is suffering from OCD, I don't think this excuses any of his actions thus far. Just because it starts at the pebble doesn't mean you need to push the boulder down the hill. As it's one thing to believe that you are the reincarnation of the Führer, it's another thing to cosplay as one of his little foot soldiers or as himself. Yeah, Felix isn't one of those people who just says things, Felix does. And Felix full-on cosplays as one one of the Germans' honor guard, strutting around his house in his full-on little outfit, including hat, tie, and jacket. Now, at that point, you just kind of like look at him and say, alright, mate, how much of mental illness can we excuse here? I always like to say there's nothing more embarrassing than failing at an OnlyFans, because that's your body, bro, damn. But I think it's extra embarrassing to get behind a sewing machine and become so hateful. Obviously, he can't buy these uniforms anywhere, so he's gonna have to make them himself. Just the mental image of him sitting behind such an inherently innocent machine, just full of anger, makes me giggle a little bit. I'm gonna get revenge for my past life. I'm gonna show them what they did to me. Felix, we're having tea and biscuits. You want some? Oh yeah, that sounds scrumptious. I may be an angry little man, but I do love a bourbon cream. This may not shock you to find out, but he has deleted his entire profile off the face of TikTok, and is now trying desperately, and I mean desperately, to hide any evidence of any wrongdoing. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Felix, man, it's too late. You've garnered way too much online attention, and this is gonna follow you for the rest of your life no matter where you go. As it rightfully should do, maybe. It's an iffy grey area. I don't really want to stick my dick into one hole on this one. Sometimes I find myself being too nice to the wrong kinds of people, but I don't want to say a whole hog that it's fully his fault, even though I personally believe it majoritarily is. And I also don't want to stick it in the whole hog saying that it's not at all his fault, because then you're giving the mental illness way too much power that it doesn't deserve, because there are options to treat that mental illness and get better. I might have to Philip DeFranco this, where I say my opinion, but I don't say my opinion and keep it intentionally vague, so it sounds like I'm saying something, but I'm not actually saying anything. That's more Hassan Piker, actually. You beautiful bastards, I'd love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments down below. Don't actually do that, man. I don't even like you. Funnily enough, this isn't even the weirdest part about Felix's personality, is the fact that he really likes the man in the mustache. Felix also has like a snake kink, bro, which I'm sure your jaw just dropped and thinking to yourself, what the f is a snake kink?
Felix is a nasty N8Z. He has been trying to wipe his existence off the internet, but people have found a Spotify playlist about his egg-laying kink.
Or rather, egg-laying kink. Sorry, I got the words wrong. It's a fetish where you're really into the idea of having eggs laid inside of you. I think Felix might be the most confusing individual on the planet. Alright, first of all, bro, you're gay. And now second of all, you like eggs inside of you. Hitler would have flamed your ass. He hates you on sight. It's impact. He's ripping open his shirt and he's fighting your ass. Like, how are you gonna think that you're his reincarnation when part of your identity is polarly opposite to his entirely? Did you just stick your hand down your pants and be like, oh, I only got one ball. I guess I gotta be uns high Führer. You're a weird guy, dude. I mean this earnestly. Like, I spend a lot of time on the internet looking at strange people, but you genuinely perplex me. It's like when you see like a really ugly hot person and you're looking at that person's face and your brain is trying to work out whether or not this person's attractive, because they don't feature any conventional attractive features, but something about them is oddly intoxicating. It's like a siren call to the punani. You don't know if you're gonna hit rocks on the edge, but you're enjoying wafting over to some beautiful music. Wait a minute, I just read something on the side here too. Someone sent his videos to his mother. They're Jewish. That can't be real. Now you're taking a step too far. Felix, Cipher, mum. Oh my god! Oh my god! What the? Dude, I'm not Joe Rogan. I might admit that these are probably fake, but if these are reals, Felix might be an enigma man. Felix might be the answer to the Thinks' Cipher. He is a Nazi who has an egg-laying kink and is also Jewish and gay. Inside of you, there are 4 wolves, and they are killing each other. I'm completely lost for words. I don't know what to say here, guys. I don't have any wisecracks, any gazgoogs, any silly funnies. I think my brain might melt outside of my ears. He is fundamentally just all of the polar opposite things. You ever play old school Pokemon or even modern Pokemon? I don't know, I'm not 2 years old, I don't play video games. I'm a real man, I neglect my children and go sit by the lake with a drink of whiskey. And every time my brain starts getting too emotional, I suppress them. But the elements of this person are kind of mismatched. It's like water type against fire, fire against electric, gay against Nazi, Nazi uses March against, oh, no, I'm not gonna say that. Jewish uses Star of David against Nazi. How does he go about his life without just absolutely imploding? This is a combination that is unstable. At some point, he's gonna explode like a nuclear reactor. I feel a little bit bad for him. Is that a terrible thing to say. I know who I am. Like, I'm completely confident in my personality and the person that I am. And I do feel some pity for people who are still trying to find themselves. But I feel extra pity because this guy's on like ultra hard mode or something. Granted, it's by his own design. But this dude fundamentally just needs, I don't know, someone to say to him, bro, go try a couple hobbies. You know, we can go like ice skating or something, man. I know you like painting, so we could do Warhammer minis. That's a little bit more constructive than like painting 2Zs. Look, in closing, I just want to say this. In spite of all these factors that follow Felix around, there's one thing that he's done that I can't forgive and can't be sympathetic towards. And that is he's acted on these things. Now, man, you can believe in reincarnation all you like, and you can truly believe that you are the reincarnation of Hitler. I can't say it anymore, otherwise this channel might get struck. But why would you actively want to be him in this life? Surely if I knew I was reincarnated, because, you know, he really does know, as say Dino, and I used to be Genghis Khan, I'd be thinking to myself, well, I wasn't a really good dude back then, in this scenario per se. I'm not actually Genghis Khan reincarnated. Maybe all that murdering and pillaging I did was kinda not nice of me. So I should spend this life just being the best individual I can to everyone. I wouldn't go Felix's route where I kind of just embrace my past and accept it as my future. I think I would reject traditional and embrace modernity. It doesn't matter what your opinion of Felix is. All that matters is you legally subscribe. Try to stay safe out there, kids. There's some dudes out there fighting, and you don't want to be caught up in that. Love you all. See you later. Bye-bye.